Where we left off is we basically did some show and hide classes. Right now, when the breakpoint gets to 680, we're hiding all the menu items and we're showing the menu dropdown. Only part is it doesn't work right now. And the way we want it to work is like here in Firefox, if I click, we want it to do that. And what we're going to have to do is use some jQuery. To find out more about jQuery, you could basically go to the web. If you go to the jQuery tutorial on W3 Schools, they have a great one there. I went through it last summer. I went through the whole thing, and it's kind of fun because it takes JavaScript and it makes it a little bit easier. What we're going to do, and you could certainly read about everything in here, but if you go to the Get Started part, the part we're concerned about, you'll see it'll say downloading jQuery. And you'll be like, oh, what do I have to download? Actually, you don't have to download anything. You can download it, but what we're going to do is we're going to use the CDN, which is a content delivery network. It's the same way we use Google Fonts, is we basically just link to them. And we're going to use the Google CDN. And you could actually go here and copy this script and put it right in your page. That's actually what we're going to do. I also gave you another place to do that as well, right from the e-learning page. But also to find more about jQuery, where you can go is just go to the jQuery site. It'll tell you about what it is. But basically, in a nutshell, it's just kind of a shortcut for kind of a JavaScript library so that you don't have to write a lot of JavaScript. And it basically goes through your DOM or your document object model, your HTML document, and finds elements. And you could do things like show, hide, slide toggle. You could do different things in there, and you could do it quicker than you could with writing a whole lot of JavaScript on your own. And there's a whole library for doing that. And you could just link to the library and just write kind of shorter kind of functions. And that's what we're going to do. And, if you ever want to check it out, I'm not going to explain all of it now, but, go through this in W3 Schools. They give you those little windows to try things out so you get an idea of what happens. So, it'll look familiar once you see the code that you're going to use for that. So, like I said, we can copy and paste this. I'm actually going to copy and paste this right now. It's one of the first things you could do. You can copy and paste it here. And you're going to go to your index page, and I'll show you could paste it somewhere else. And I'm basically going to put it, now you'll do this right after your CSS link, your link rel. I have another one here for Google Fonts, but just ignore that for now. But I'm just going to paste this in here. And what I want you to notice is that even though it's a script SRC, it's script SRC for a JavaScript file. And that's basically online hosted at Google APIs. So it's a script, but it also has a closing script. Our link does not have a closing link for our CSS. We don't have a closing link tag, but it does have a closing script tag. So just be aware of that. Now, where else you can find this, and I put this up here. If you go to this course for your CSE 230, if you go to Documents and Resources, I put this right at the top, Code to Copy. I put this section Code to Copy. And I have to put one other one in here, and I'll do that when I take a quick break. But there is the jQuery Google link. And what I did is I just put this little, it's just a text file. So all you have to do is copy it here. So it's the same thing that I just copied. So either way, it doesn't matter. But I put comments in here, so you don't have to copy the comments, but it just says copy the elements below here. So you could get them right here, so you could just copy and paste code. You don't have to jump around to different websites. I try to put it all here as well. So you can copy that, and you're going to go to your index page and paste it right after into your head tag. It's inside before you close up your head tag. You're going to paste it in here, and it's a script tag. So that's the first thing you do. Nothing's going to happen yet. What's really going to happen is when you go to your next one, you're going to go back to e-learning, and you're going to copy this script. And if you click on this second one that's here, again, there's comments up here. It says copy below these comments. So it just has a little bit of, just tells you what to do. But what you're going to copy is this whole thing from script to script. Notice it's not going to go in the other one. It has an opening script tag and a closing script tag. And you're just going to copy this. And this is jQuery. And you're going to copy this, and you're going to go to your index page, and you're going to put it just right after your other one. So you're going to have a second script here, and you could put an extra return in there. And you could see it has an opening script and a closing script, and what's in here is like a kind of a shortened JavaScript function. And what it's going to do, if you just look in here what it's doing so far, it's running a function that basically when you click on menu dropdown, which is this, if you click on this thing, it's going to run a slideToggle function, which basically kind of makes it appear and disappear in kind of an animated way. And you saw what that does. It's basically going to do this. So the slideToggle is going to do this automatically. So it's a JavaScript function that'll do that. And notice that it's doing slide toggle to the menu items, and it's clicking on the menu dropdown. So that's telling you exactly what you're using here. So it's a fairly simple kind of function that's in here. Be aware that because it's in a script tag, that even though it's in an HTML file, you have to use kind of like our CSS comments in here. So when you're inside the script tag, you have to use these kind of comments. You can't use these comments. So if you're outside of the script tags, you have to use your HTML comments. If you're inside script tags, you have to use these kind of like programming type comments with the asterisk and the slash. So what should happen here, we're going to try it out, and that should be all you need. I told you it's pretty simple. What you're going to do, and I'm just going to save this because this is my index page. I'm going to go back to my preview, refresh it, and it shouldn't look any different. But when I click on here, it runs the slide toggle. Pretty easy. And like I said, jQuery is fairly easy. You don't have to write a lot of JavaScript to do that. I mean, if you want to learn about it, it's nice to learn about JavaScript and know what you're doing. But if you just need some functionality, that's a good one that has the ability to do that. Now, the only problem is if you do this, what I ran into, if you make the page larger, and you can see in here, I'm having an issue because the other buttons aren't coming back. So it's all fine if you're here on your phone and you're just toggling it up and down, but the problem is that when you resize your window, now it came back this time, and that's because I have these buttons showing. If you have the button showing, it's no problem. If you toggle it off and you resize your window, it doesn't bring them back. So that's a problem. And we can't just fix that just with CSS. And I looked around for, and I'll just mention, I looked around for a couple different solutions for this, and what I came up with under Stack Overflow is they had a couple very simple jQuery options here, like this one, this window resize function. I tried that and it actually worked, except it worked in Chrome and Safari. When I tried it in Firefox, it didn't work. So scrolling down a little bit in here, they have another one here. It says the following code seems to work with all browsers. Okay, now this one's a little more complicated, and I didn't have a chance to go in and really dig into it, although even if you look at the comments, they don't know a lot about it other than it works. And so all we need to know right now is this works. So you can copy it right out of here. Now I could put a link up here, but I put it right on eLearning. So if I go back to eLearning, you'll see a window resize script. And what that'll do, the purpose of that is so that when it'll refresh your window once you resize it again. So when you get to this point, once you resize it, it'll refresh it, which will restore it to the way it is when you first started your page. So it'll make your items show up again. So that's what we're going to do to kind of fix this problem of your items not coming back. So I'm going to go back to and open up this resize. There's a link here. It's just a text file. And again, I have a comment that you can keep with it, that you don't have to write a new comment, but you don't have to copy this stuff. So just this stuff here. And I'm just going to copy this. I have a spelling error in there that I need to fix because I had the other one and it worked, and then I had to quick change this one and put this one in here. So, but just copy this, and you're going to put it in your index file. And where are you going to put it? Well, you're actually going to put it inside the existing script one. You're not going to run a new script. So you're going to put it right inside here, and so it's all in this script. So everything from script to script is JavaScript. So we have another JavaScript here, and this one, and I'll just backspace here, is basically just meant to kind of refresh your window. So what this should do, and I'll have to dig into it further because I've never really used this one before, but it works. So that's all I care about, is it works right now. And what should happen, I'll save this. What should happen is when you go back here and you refresh, it works right away. So when you resize this and you get it down to like phone view or phone size, you toggle on or off. That's what the jQuery that's doing the slide toggle function. And if it's toggled off and you resize your window, what it does is it does a refresh. You have to leave go, but it does a refresh and it brings all these things back. And that's it. So it's actually fairly simple. Now, if you want to really explore the code, you'll have to look up some of the jQuery stuff and go through some of the jQuery. It's interesting, but all we really need to do is make it work. This one I'll have to dig up. I don't know a whole lot about this one. I tried another one that, like I said, worked in Chrome and it worked in Safari, but it didn't work in Firefox. So this one, I tried this one and it works. So that's all I can tell you about this right now. I'll have to look into this a little bit more. But it's not a lot of code. JavaScript can be a lot of code. This is not a lot of code at all. And it works, and it makes our site a little more functional, a little more flexible, and it makes it nicer to work in a phone as well as on a web page. So that's all we need to do with this. We just have some scripts that we put in here. We have some styles that we added to show and hide some things, and I think that's all we really did. So I think we're good. You can re-upload when you're done with this. You could basically re-upload. You'll have to re-upload your image. You could upload the whole folder again to make sure it works and try everything out, but it's going to need the hamburger icon, and also your index file and your EX9 CSS will be updated from the last exercise that you did. So we're calling this EX9B. It's just a little kind of added functionality that we're putting on this page, and it's a little taste of jQuery of what it can do. And that's all my intent is just to give you a little exposure to it.